Hi, sorry. So we have just listened to a press conference by the mayor, police chief, and fire chief here in Pasadena, where the tornado, I believe a single tornado, kind of did a bunch of hop skips, if you will, touching down obviously here at the animal shelter. Then across the street at a neighborhood where we are standing, we can see parts of roofs have been torn off. They're telling us that entire homes have been pulled from the slabs of their foundations. Really remarkable anywhere, but particularly here in Southeast Texas, where we are not used to seeing this kind of damage. Let's take a quick tour here. We're going to walk around real quick. Watch out, photographer John Gibson there. Don't trip, but you can see how the tornado, those high winds, literally peeled the rooftop off of the animal shelter here. Oop. Careful. Yep, there's a lot of stuff hanging around here. You can see the insulation, the chicken coop wire. I'm told one of the issues here is that the AC units are sort of wobbly on top of the roof and in other areas, and they are working now to bolt those down to try and prevent any kind of trouble. Like right here, you can see it looks like one unit came collapsing down. You certainly don't want to be standing underneath any of that if it's rocking and it is unstable. So they do have some video they're going to let us, they are sharing with us, but right now, if obviously they don't want anybody inside running around, especially not just to take some pictures, if you will. I'm going to walk back this way, sort of head towards the other side of the animal, see some of the damage. Parking lot, John, if we can, and show them what has happened to some of the vehicles here. We're told there are about 70 or so animals here. A dog or two may have some minor injuries, but luckily this is right next door to an adoption center, so they'll be able to move most of these animals over next door to that adoption center. They also are talking about potentially moving the animals to another location if they need to do that. But let's walk over this way. Come with me, if you will, and take a look at the vehicles here in the parking lot. So you can see what happened. Part of that roof, it just peeled off of the top here like a can opener almost, and then strips of that metal roofing and sheeting flying across the parking lot, landing on top of those vehicles. Fortunately, nobody inside, apparently nobody in the parking lot, because we're told in the city of Pasadena, despite damage like this, there's only been one relatively minor injury. Maybe we can walk a little bit closer, John, and we can get a better look at what has happened to some of these vehicles. It is dramatic stuff, and certainly nobody wants to be inside a car, parked or running, when something like this happens. But if we get a little bit closer, you can see how terrifying that might be if you were sitting inside. And I'm going to guess that these vehicles may be pretty much a total loss. That's just an uninformed guesstimate right there, but you can see how bad that looks. We're going to swing just across the street here. Photographer John Gibson and I kind of giving you a quick look, a tour. This is, we are seeing some of this for the first time just as you are. And you can see the fence right here along this home is completely flattened and it is gone down onto the ground there. John's pointing me to the left, and you can see those telephone poles all listing at about a 45-degree angle. All of that coming on down, and power lines down throughout the city here, as well as gas leaks. If you'd been listening to the fire chief and the police chief, they've been talking about that and the dangers of that. Obviously, they want people to stay away from any down power lines, stay away from any gas leaks, and also asking folks to please be judicious, please be careful about the 911 calls you make. They clearly know that there are a lot of issues and problems with power lines and with gas lines. They are getting to them as quickly as they can. I don't know if we can scoot on a little bit closer in. Traffic is obviously backed up here too because of some of the debris and potentially some of the downed lines. But we're crossing the street here. I believe this is going to be Genoa, Red Bluff, Genoa perhaps, as we cross into this little neighborhood. And you can see the fence line torn down here, so it's all just lying on the ground. And some of the roofs have been peeled off here. So we're just gonna come down making a turn here in a minute on Burke Ridge and take a look at what we've got over here. A little tricky to see, but back this way, if we step off onto the street, John, on Burke, you can see That roof has been peeled back. Already someone's got some blue tarp on there, so someone's been working quickly. Fence line. Hold on, young man. Come here and talk to me. Hold on. What's your name, son?
Joe Morrison.
And you live around here, Joe?
Yes, I live down there at that street.
All right. How's your house?
It's fine. My fence is blown down though.
Your fence is down, but the
Yeah.
rest of the house okay?
Yeah.
Were you home when the tornado hit?
Yes, I was. My parents were out here in their car and they got their car windows smashed out.
Oh, and how are your parents? Are they all right?
Yeah, they're all right. I had to come pick them up.
Good. I'm
Around
glad
here,
to hear
yes,
they're okay.
yeah.
That must have been fairly terrifying.
Yeah, it was scary, but it's not our first rodeo. I mean, this neighborhood went through Harvey, and it's been through all the other tropical storms since then. So I'm glad everyone's okay. As far as I'm aware, no one's gotten hurt.
One relatively minor injury.
Yeah, it wasn't an electrocution. Yeah.
You know what? I'm not quite sure, but we'll find out about
Yeah,
that.
that's what I heard. Yeah.
Okay. Tell me, you wanted to tell me something about this vehicle down here. Can we walk a little bit,
Yeah.
John? Can we walk here and take a look and see? And our local guide here, Joe, yeah?
Yeah.
Gonna be telling us what happened up here. It does look very dramatic.
Well,
Holy
yeah,
smoke.
I was walking out after the streets had flooded before the drainage system kicked in and all the flood water went away.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you can see them up there.
Wow,
House
okay,
systems.
and more fences down over
Yeah,
here.
it was also trash day. They had the trash people coming around still picking up trash while this was all happening.
What did you hear? What did you see when it was all happening? About what time was it?
Okay, so I got the tornado warning, and to be honest, I saw that notification, and I was like, I don't really care, and I just went right back to sleep. And then my brother woke me up, and my parents were on the phone, and they were panicking because they were stuck out here in the parking lot at Tegler, just getting hit by debris. So as far as I'm aware, it looks like the tornado just came down right down this road.
So their vehicle was getting pelted
Oh,
by...
yeah.
Have you seen the car?
No, not yet. I gotta go pick it up later though, so I guess I'll see you then.
Alrighty, and now we're looking at another house straight up ahead, a two-story brick there with, looks like that roof is yesterday's news, as they say. And we have some more downed lines here. I don't know if these are phone lines or power lines, but we're going to give it a good wide berth. What did it sound like to you? People always say freight train. Was that your experience?
It was really windy. You could hear the wind. The freight train, I don't think this was a super powerful tornado, so I didn't hear that. But I did walk out while I think it had just passed, and this is the whiteout rain they're talking about.
So it's just like blinding. You aren't actually.
Yeah. You go out and you can't see past your driveway.
Okay.
It was pretty crazy.
And we see some people on their rooftops right here. Looks like people stretching on their, checking on their damage and what's left on their homes. How are your neighbors careful? Step over. Looks like that's a cable. Watch out,
Some people are locked out
John.
of their homes currently because they enter their houses through their garage, and there's no power. We don't have any power right now, and so they're just stuck walking around.
Okay. My goodness.
And so there's some people, including me earlier, going around, people like this, trying to pick up all the trash because it was trash day when this happened.
Oh, look at that! Look at that tree. It just snapped right in half. Now, Hey, John. We doing okay? Alrighty. So we're turning around here onto. Let me keep going, John. While I take a look here, we are on Park Ridge.
So much damage there.
Alrighty, we're going to take a little break here. There is a lot going on, as you can see, in Pasadena. It is big mess out here. Good news, one injury, nothing really serious.
Yeah, be careful there in Pasadena because gas leaks are a problem and down power lines. And it looks like there's some down power lines that we could see from the shot that you have right there. Be careful out there, Sherman. We'll check in with you later.